Howdy cruisers, and welcome to today's episode of Under the Covers Cruise. Yeah, no, not Under the Covers News, because it's not really a news show, it's more like a commentary show, but it's not really a cruise commentary show either, although right now it is mostly cruise. Okay, I'll come up with something new. At least I am trying. Yes, I know, Yoda, I get it. Anyway, today's first topic is something that was brought up by Morgan from over at the Very Unofficial. I'm sure you're all subscribed, and no, I know he does not need me. And that is the GoWild pass from Frontier. They offer a couple different varieties. There's, I think, a quarter pass, a half-year pass, and then the full annual pass. And I was talking about just some of the terms and conditions. And for a lot of people that have flexible schedules, kind of like me, it is a good deal. JetBlue did this a few years ago. I think they called it All You Can Jet. They don't do it anymore, but I think this is not the only time Frontier has done this, so maybe it worked out for them. However, all right, I'm just going to add my 10 cents, inflation and all. Frontier, okay, here's a suggestion. You could probably sell a lot more of these, even to people with a lot of flexibility, by offering a way to book a return along with the outbound. Because even though people can be very flexible, we don't want to get stuck anywhere. And I know that's a huge problem even with like non-rev travel. And it's not a situation that I want to really have to worry about. And you don't have to make it too complicated, but when someone gets a seat, even the next day, that rule is totally fine, next day or day before, when they get a seat, it would be great if you could at least offer a confirmed seat at a discount or part of the pass, that's the only way to do it, part of the pass, for a return within a reasonable amount of time. And if someone flies out on Friday, I think returning like Tuesday or something like that would be fine. I just don't want to get stuck. And that's the one thing that would really prevent me from doing something like this is that, yeah, I don't want to go somewhere and not know how I'm going to get back. Because if I have to buy a ticket on like American or something like that, then there's no point in getting the pass. So yeah, look into that. And I would imagine you could sell a lot more. I would even consider it. However, Morgan also brought up a couple of very curious things, or one particular curious things, and that's the 1 cent fee per segment. Okay, I have two theories on this, and it would take somebody working at the airline to figure out what the deal is with this. But having been in that space before, here's my two theories. One, their systems from the booking engine, the website, the payment processor, and all that stuff, they just can't handle $0 fares, right? Because the monetary payment option just cannot handle $0. I know Frontier has a rewards program, but that is actually handled slightly differently. And the coupon that pays for the flight is actually separate from the flight and blah, blah, blah. So if it is an actual revenue flight, it's entirely likely that there's enough places in this whole workflow that cannot handle $0 that it's just not worth it for them to change. So somebody said, yeah, screw it. We're just going to charge a penny and that's it. Because a penny is money, right? Believe it or not. Even though we might not have pennies, a penny is still money. That is, I don't know, honestly, I would say 55%. However, there's also the possibility, and no, I'm not going to go read all the FAA and DOT regulations on this, but it is possible that there are some consumer protection statutes or rules out there that are worded like the monetary value of. They don't actually specify what that is. They don't specify a minimum or a maximum, but they specify the compensation that might be owed somebody based on the monetary value exchanged, which in this case is 1 penny. So even if there was some rule in the DOT or FAA that said, if you're totally stranded, the most the airline is on the hook for is 10 times, the amount paid for the flight, which is a penny. So this is their way of complying with the rule and screwing you over and only owing you 10 cents. Hey, you know what? It makes just as much sense as anything else. Okay? If anybody has any other ideas, go ahead, leave them in the comments below. I love to hear what you all might think about this. Next up, okay, an MSC, or actually two MSC World America hot takes. Where does MSC World America fit in the overall cruise ship landscape? Not only cruise lines, but on the cruise ship landscape. So, MSC's World Class is the third largest class of ship sailing today, behind Icon and Oasis. So MSC World America is not that much smaller than an Oasis class ship. I mean, these are all giant cruise ships, but she is not the second largest. MSC, they're working on that with the with the not Galaxy class. All right, that's going to be our pet name. Anyway, all right, so where does she actually fit though? I think that she fits in between Icon and Oasis, because really, I think MSC, I'm sure they sent some people out to like take a peek at what's going on, and they really did address a lot of the criticisms of the Oasis class, particularly the criticism that there's no place to spend by the water. On an Oasis class ship, there really is no place where you can go and just sit by the water and watch the waves go by. The promenade is a jogging track, and then at the back there is the wraparound promenade, but there might be a couple chairs there, but it's not very nice. There's no bars anywhere near it, and it's not meant for lounging, right? And there's no place to do that. You're either way up on deck or you're in a shopping mall. I know a lot of other people have commented about this on the Oasis class ships, and it really is true. Well, MSC solved that with the World Promenade and the lanai and the little wraparound line at the back of the ship. And the Icon class solved that with, there's still more space in the back because there's the little kiddie infinity pool and a couple spaces on the side. But Icon of the Seas has those two areas on the sides of the promenade where you can go and sit. And there's nice lounge chairs and little tables and everything like that. So yes, that's how they solved that problem. Oasis class, not so much. So really, in terms of like cruise ship design, MSC World America is between Icon of the Seas and the Oasis class. So we can't wait to see what they have coming up next. Okay. Number 3 for the day, food. Let's talk about food a little bit. And it was suggested that I stick to burger reviews. Okay. Apparently they are not a loyal member of the court, because the loyalist members of the court know that I already do burger reviews all the time. So, yes, got you taken care of, buddy. Here's the thing. All right, this is just me. I think I may have mentioned this before. I have tried all the fancy restaurants. I have been to the fancy restaurants. I've tried, turkey roulade with, provincial truffle cream sauce or whatever like that. And it's good once, but that's it. You know what? I'm impressed once, and that's it. I'm a one and done kind of guy, right? I don't really see the need to go back and try any of these things. And yeah, I've been there. I've done that, and yeah, I get there's super fancy food, which I've had, and it's good when I have it. And then there's not so fancy food that I enjoy probably more. And so yeah, that's the thing. All these restaurants impress me, and it had to do basically with Anthology on Explore 1. And my comment there was, yes, this is the fancy chef and everything like that, but the food, the flavor palette or the preparation palette was very one-dimensional. I think 4 of the 7 courses were seafood in a cream sauce. Okay, I don't want more seafood in a cream sauce. I just got bored of seafood in a cream sauce. I would have expected them to be a little bit more, do a little bit more stuff. So yes, I know. Believe me, I've had it. I enjoy it, but sometimes the simpler things are the best, like a well-cooked steak, lightly seasoned. Yeah, that's the way to go. Which is why, honestly, I still remember JWB on Margaritaville Paradise as one of my best cruise dining experiences. Seriously. They ponied up for the good product, prepared perfectly, and the key lime pie. Okay. All right, and finally, for the loyalist members of the court, because you're the only ones that make it this far, I realized something. Yes, the MSC World America vlogs are turning out to be rather short, because like I said, I was busy doing things without you. So, and what's even weirder, I didn't talk to the camera on my own. Yes, I talk to the camera all the time, obviously, but what I will do on a lot of cruises is I will just sort of, to myself, basically, to remind myself of certain things I did, things that I might want to do again, just information that I found out, people's names, right? This time, I'm editing the videos, and I did it like once. It is super weird. Right now, I will go from you're like, oh, wow, that dinner was really good. And then, boom, I'm in bed alone. And I'm like, wait, what did I do that night? What did we do? Where did we go? And I don't remember. Well, I remember what happened. I just don't remember when. So, and normally I would just tell myself what happened. So if I ever needed it later or needed to for editing, I would know. But this time I didn't. And it's very strange. Wow. Which is why this is probably one of the best cruise experiences I've had. And hopefully it will continue to be one of the best cruise experiences I have ever had. So, okay. I have to pack. Yes, I have to pack for Norwegian Aqua, which is coming up this Saturday. Yes. So you will be hearing, again, Good Morning Princess from Puerto Plata. Again, I feel like I've been there like every weekend, and I'm going to use that line again. So since probably no one else is going to hear it. So if you are on Norwegian Aqua next week, or if you are on any of my upcoming cruises, I will definitely say hi, please. And don't let me like sneak away. A bunch of people said hi to me on MSC World America, and they never came back. I feel bad. Hi. I will see you on board.